the heavens offered two paths. One stripped away all emotion. The other demanded endless comprehension. Before the silent celestial pool, no one dared speak, because once a choice was made, there would be no turning back. If you enjoy my way of explaining and storytelling, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really motivates me to keep creating. Russell's pupils contracted, and his divine sense spread outward like a tide. As a cultivator at the mid-stage of Nirvana Scrya, his divine sense far surpassed that of the early stage. The moment it expanded, the 7 remaining golden giants erupted with dazzling light. At the same time, an immense pressure descended upon the entire area. The 7 golden giants charged straight toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin's eyes gleamed. He did not retreat. With the Karma whip leading the way, he rushed forward. The whip coiled around him, then extended rapidly into a 1,000-foot length. Without hesitation, Wang Lin grasped it firmly. With a single shake, the Karma whip released a piercing whistle like the wail of a ghost. It lashed forward in an instant. One golden giant was struck and shattered with a thunderous crash. Originally black, the Karma whip began to change after destroying 4 giants. It was as if it were shedding scale-like fragments peeled away from its surface. Golden light seeped out from within. It was as though the whip had absorbed the essence of sun and moon. Radiating a golden glow like a dragon, it lashed out again and again. Sharp popping sounds echoed as the remaining golden giants collapsed one after another. This sight caused all observers to widen their eyes. Even the ancient cultivators seated upon praying mats showed interest. An early-stage Nirvana Scrya fighting a mid-stage. This is rare. I recognize him. That is Shu Mu. That treasure is vicious. It specifically harms divine sense. Russell's unpredictability has met its counter. Master Demon Zhu Mu. No wonder he dares to face Russell. Lord. Shen Gonghu stared at the battle, his mind trembling, his blood boiling. As he looked at Wang Lin, the respect in his gaze deepened into reverence. Though not yet fanatic, his regard had reached a great height. Jian Kongli also watched, drawing in a deep breath. He could faintly sense that overwhelming battle intent from his senior. Just as had been said, it was the will to win absolute and unyielding. Wang Lin's black hair drifted in the air as he charged toward Russell. The entire region was suppressed by Russell's divine sense, making each step feel like moving through water. Wang Lin's eyes flashed. His left hand formed a seal. 2 black dragons emerged, circling his body, forming a massive vortex. The vortex turned wild in an instant. Like a raging storm, the 2 black dragons roared within. Wang Lin stood at its center, his white robes fluttering violently. His voice rang out coldly. Break. The vortex expanded abruptly. Crackling sounds filled the air. The force of the twin dragons tore open a gap within the oppressive divine sense. Though Wang Lin's cultivation and divine sense were inferior, his techniques were profound, and he possessed a treasure designed to counter divine sense. The moment the opening appeared, the Karma whip lashed forward. Thunderous rumbles echoed as Russell's suppression collapsed and was forced back. Wang Lin moved like lightning, seizing the instant to charge out. The 2 black dragons roared, releasing waves of icy wind toward Russell. The cold wind spread across the area. Nearby cultivators felt a bone-deep chill, as though frozen in ice. Their expressions changed drastically. Russell's face darkened. Killing intent flickered in his eyes. He sat down without hesitation, forming seals with his hands, ignoring the incoming dragons entirely as he closed his eyes. Russell stand at the mid-stage of Nirvana Scrya. If I cannot kill you, then my thousands of years of cultivation are meaningless. As his eyes shut, a powerful surge of divine sense erupted, transforming into countless sharp needles. They filled the space around him, endless, dense, terrifying. Then they shot toward Wang Lin. Each needle carried his transformed divine sense. This was the spell that had made his name the technique praised by countless seniors. Among cultivators, most spells drew upon the body's power. Very few directly targeted the origin soul. Yet divine sense attacks those alone could strike fear into any cultivator. Physical techniques could be resisted, but divine sense techniques specialized in damaging the origin soul. If the soul were harmed, the lightest outcome would be grave injury. More often, cultivation would fall, or life would end. Yao Bingyun's past technique was similar, but it combined divine sense with origin energy, leaving flaws. Russell's technique, however, was pure divine sense, refined, perfected, terrifying. It was precisely this mastery that granted him high standing within the Thunder Celestial Temple, despite only being mid-stage Nirvana Scryer. You struck first, I merely defend. Accept your death. His eyes snapped open, the countless needles surged forward. Wang Lin's gaze turned cold, his hands formed seals and pushed outward. The black dragon's icy wind collided with the incoming needles, but the two forces passed through each other. Intangible, the cold wind rushed directly toward Russell. Meanwhile, the divine sense needles closed in on Wang Lin. His expression remained calm. Against a true mid-stage Nirvana Scryer, this battle would have been difficult. The gap at the second step was vast, but Russell relied on divine sense. For others, this would be deadly. Stronger divine sense crushed the weaker. But to Wang Lin, it was not a threat. As the needles neared, the Karma Whip lashed out repeatedly. Many needles shattered, but too many remained. Some slipped through, entering his body. They surged toward his origin soul, only to collide with the ancient god leather armor and collapse instantly. With that armor, such attacks were insufficient. At that moment, the black dragons reached Russell. His expression grew grim. Forming a seal, he pointed between his brows. Without even glancing at the dragons, he fixed his gaze on Wang Lin. A beam of green light shot forth, condensing into a green snake. The snake hissed, baring sharp fangs, and lunged forward. When struck by the Karma Whip, it split in two, avoiding the blow. From both sides, the halves struck Wang Lin. They entered his body, transforming into two terrifying forces that rushed toward his origin soul. One moved faster. It opened its jaws, attempting to devour the soul, but its fangs shattered against the ancient god leather armor. Still, it slammed into the armor with savage persistence. The second snake arrived, lunging mercilessly. The armor trembled, crushing the attack. The green energy scattered, swirling around the armor. None outside could see the deadly struggle within. A single misstep would mean death. Wang Lin's face turned pale. Killing intent surged in his eyes. Forming a sword with his fingers, he charged forward. Russell's pupils shrank. Terror filled his eyes. Impossible. He could not believe it. His divine sense attack, refined over millennia, had caused no damage. Even with a treasure, I am a full realm above him. My divine sense has been honed for thousands of years. He cannot emerge unscathed. Yet before he could process it, the black dragons descended upon him. His face paled. Though weaker in origin energy, he was still mid-stage Nirvana Scryer. Slapping his storage bag, he summoned a small drum. Tossed into the air, it expanded rapidly. As the dragons approached, the drum beat, releasing powerful gusts of wind. But under the dragon's assault, it trembled violently. The sound faltered. Collapse. At his command, the drum unleashed a storm-like force, colliding with one dragon. A deafening explosion rang out. The drum shattered. One black dragon disintegrated. Wang Lin seized the moment. Like lightning, he stepped onto the remaining dragon and charged forward, killing, intent blazing. He knew Russell's mind had been shaken. This was the opening. If he allowed recovery, the battle would drag on. And if Russell turned to origin techniques, even a small mistake could lead to defeat. Though Qing Shui was present, survival alone was meaningless. Losing would strip him of qualification. Raising his hand, Wang Lin summoned the celestial sealing stamp. It shot forward, crashing toward Russell. Russell's eyes shone. Ignoring his earlier shock, he formed a seal. Origin energy gathered, forming a flaming thunderbolt. Just as he prepared to release it, stop. The word echoed. Invisible threads wrapped around Russell. Though he broke free quickly, the delay was enough. The celestial sealing stamp slammed down. At the same time, countless golden runes surrounded him. Russell's heart sank. His strength lay in divine sense, yet it was useless here. Breaking free, he hurled the thunderbolt. It expanded to over 100 feet, opening a massive mouth to devour the stamp. Flames engulfed the celestial ceiling stamp, but it remained unharmed, crashing down mercilessly. A loud explosion followed. Russell escaped, disheveled eyes reddened. "I refuse to believe you can resist everything." He charged forward, divine sense forming giant hands. They clapped, sending ripples outward. Wang Lin staggered slightly from backlash. Taking out an origin soul to recover, he faced the incoming attack. The Karma whip lashed repeatedly. Most ripples shattered, but some struck him. His face grew paler. The armor could not block all vibrations. Killing intent surged. He stepped forward. Both hands formed seals. Heavenly chops appeared, flying out one after another. The battle intensified. One side attacked with divine sense, defended with origin energy. The other reversed the roles. Their clash shook heaven and earth. Explosions roared continuously. The battle grew ever more ferocious. "Enough!" Master Flamespark's voice thundered. A surge of origin energy compressed the space between them, forcing both to retreat. At that moment, a cold light flashed in Qing Shui's eyes. With a soft snort, a ray of G-Realm shot forth. Wang Lin's face turned deathly pale. In the midst of battle, he suddenly felt an unimaginable force descend. His body trembled. He was forced backward, coughing out a mouthful of blood. After landing, he staggered several steps before managing to steady himself. Russell fared no better. He too coughed up blood and was driven back. After retreating a few steps, he fixed Wang Lin with a gaze filled with killing intent. Master Flamespark had intervened without favoring either side, forcing them apart. Yet the moment Wang Lin spat out blood, Qing Shui's G-Realm erupted forth. "He is not someone you can kill. You are not qualified." As the G-Realm manifested, the color of the world shifted. A chilling aura spread across the surroundings. This coldness carried an extreme oppressive force. The expressions of the old monsters seated on their prayer mats all changed. This was the first time they had witnessed Celestial Lord Qing Shui's most powerful spell. Even the surrounding cultivators were shaken, their expressions transforming instantly. "Stop!" Master Flamespark abruptly rose to his feet, but he was already too late. Russell felt an irresistible force surge into his body. His vision turned red as though a bolt of crimson lightning had pierced into him. Then he heard it, the sound of his origin soul collapsing within his body. That sound echoed in his ears, and with it came unbearable pain. His origin soul had no strength to resist the red lightning. It shattered instantly into countless fragments, tearing through his flesh. Blood burst out in torrents. Struggling, he tried to turn and see the one who had killed him, but he only managed halfway before his vision dimmed. He collapsed to the ground. His breath ceased. He was dead. A flash of red light emerged from his body. The crimson lightning carried away the energy of his origin soul and returned to Qing Shui. Qing Shui's face flushed slightly. Silence fell. The surroundings were utterly quiet. This sudden turn of events left all cultivators gasping. Their minds went blank as they tried to comprehend what had just happened. Qing Shui Master Flamespark's gaze burned with fury. Qing Shui spoke calmly. "You made Shumu cough blood. I wanted that person's life in return." Master Flamespark stared at him. "I showed no bias earlier. Qing Shui, if you cannot give me an explanation, then even if this celestial title competition must be destroyed, I will fight you. It was merely an accident. If you wish to fight, then fight." Qing Shui's right eye flickered with red light. Having absorbed divine retribution, his G-Realm had changed slightly. Old instincts long buried were beginning to resurface. There had been no real need to kill Russell. If there was a reason, it was simple: Qing Shui was biased. He could never repay his master's kindness. Though his master had once spoken lightly, Qing Shui now treated every word with absolute seriousness. In his heart, Shumu was his junior apprentice brother. As long as he stood here, no one would be allowed to bully Shumu. Moreover, Qing Shui had clearly seen the killing intent in Russell's eyes. Such a person had to die. Wang Lin fell silent, contemplating. He looked at Qing Shui and respectfully said, "Thank you, senior apprentice brother." The moment those words were spoken, a wave of shock swept through the crowd. Senior apprentice brother. This Xu Mu is actually senior Qing Shui's junior apprentice brother. This is unbelievable. I never imagined Qing Shui and Xu Mu would share the same master. Rumor says Celestial Lord Qing Shui's master was Celestial Emperor Bai Fan. Could it be that this Xu Mu is also Bai Fan's disciple? No wonder Xu Mu has been so arrogant these past years. So his backing is Celestial Lord Qing Shui. Humph, without Qing Shui, this Xu Mu would be nothing. Xu Ting's expression darkened. He licked his lips and stared at Wang Lin. His thoughts raced, but in the end he glanced at Qing Shui with fear and made his decision. The six-fingered cultivator and the big-headed boy were both stunned, each lost in their own thoughts. Shi Zifeng stood with her mouth slightly open, disbelief filling her eyes at the relationship between Wang Lin and Qing Shui. There was joy within her, yet also a faint sigh. I'm afraid nothing will ever happen between him and someone like me in this lifetime. My lord is actually a disciple of Celestial Emperor Bai Fan, the junior brother of Celestial Lord Qing Shui. Zhang Kongli stared blankly at the scene before him. In that moment he made up his mind. Nangong Han let out a bitter smile. This Xu Mu shares the same master as Celestial Lord Qing Shui. I should grow closer to him. It will surely benefit me in the future. Not only him, even some of the old monsters on the prayer mats had their eyes light up. Only the blood god sneered inwardly. The murmurs reached Master Flamespark's ears. He looked at Qing Shui. After a moment of silent thought, he smiled. Since Celestial Lord killed him by accident, we will discuss this matter later. However, Celestial Lord cultivation is not easy. Please be more careful next time. Qing Shui closed his eyes and did not respond. Master Flamespark sighed inwardly. He himself had unsealed Qing Shui. Though Qing Shui's cultivation had not fully recovered, careful observation revealed a hidden power within him. It was not the G realm, yet it inspired fear. He did not wish for such a trivial matter to damage their relationship. More importantly, even that revered senior who had captured the moon beast had warned him not to provoke Qing Shui. Back then, even Bai Fan had chosen goodwill, accepting him as a disciple to win Qing Shui's allegiance, rather than forcing submission. Russell was too arrogant. Now that he is dead, so be it, though it is a pity to lose his comprehension of divine sense spells. Master Flamespark's gaze shifted to Wang Lin. This Xu Mu must possess a powerful treasure protecting his origin soul, perhaps a gift from Qing Shui. His voice became calm. Shuma qualifies. With Russell dead, Master Flamespark appointed another judge. The replacement was still shaken by Russell's death. In the end, out of 325 participants, only 196 remained. The rest were sent away through the transfer arrays. The second trial, the Earth trial. Master Flamespark formed a seal with his right hand and pressed down toward the Thunder Lake below. An illusory rune condensed in his palm and swiftly descended upon the square. The moment it landed, the entire square trembled. Endless thunder roared. Lightning arced wildly, transforming the square into what seemed like a true lake of thunder. The lightning writhed like silver serpents flashing incessantly. They gathered densely before suddenly dispersing, leaving an open space 30 feet wide at the center. Endure for 15 breaths. Pass and you succeed. Fail and you are disqualified. The Thunder Lake roared. A massive thunder spirit formed from the lightning outside the open area. As it moved, it radiated an overwhelming pressure. The gazes of all surrounding cultivators turned toward Wang Lin. In the previous trial, he had been the absolute focus. Now everyone wanted to see how long Xu Mu could endure this second trial. Even renowned old monsters began to pay attention. The pressure within this Thunder Lake is not something ordinary cultivators can withstand. Even this Xu Mu will last no more than 20 breaths. After all, even among the messengers of the Thunder Celestial Temple, who specialize in thunder techniques, very few can endure beyond 20 breaths. As far as I know, this Thunder Lake is one of the trials for becoming a messenger of the Thunder Celestial Temple. They are divided into 4 ranks. Enduring 20 breaths grants rank 4. 80 breaths grants rank 1. If one can last over 100 breaths, they may enter the inner temple. I wonder how long this Shu Mu can last. I find myself somewhat anticipating it. This trial tests true cultivation. There will be no miracles here. I place more hope in Shu Ting of planet Donglin. Soft discussions spread among the cultivators, low and constant, like an undercurrent beneath the thunder's roar. Wang Lin gazed at the Thunder Lake, then at the wandering thunder spirit within it. The human trial had at the very least offered some degree of difficulty. But when he looked upon the Earth trial, the strangeness in his eyes deepened even further. Shi Zifeng bit her lower lip. Her eyes moved from Wang Lin to the Thunder Lake, and unease slowly rose within her heart. She reached into her bag, searching for a long moment before clenching her teeth. Ignoring the flush spreading across her cheeks, she leapt into the air, her figure light and graceful, like a butterfly. The surrounding cultivators were all startled as she flew directly toward the participants. She was already beautiful. Now, with her face flushed red, she rushed toward Wang Lin. Lowering her head, she took out a piece of green jade. In a soft voice, she said, "This, I give it to you." With that, she placed the jade into Wang Lin's hand and immediately turned, fleeing back with her face burning red. By the time she returned, she could hear the rapid pounding of her own heart. She lowered her head at once, her thoughts falling into complete disarray. The ancestor of the Shi family let out a quiet sigh upon seeing this. A complex light flickered within her eyes. "Enter the Thunder Lake." At that moment, Master Flamespark's voice echoed between heaven and earth. His voice rumbled like thunder, causing a violent transformation within the Thunder Lake. The empty space at its center was suddenly filled with lightning, and the entire square became a true Thunder Lake. Waves of thunder surged within it. The pressure it released made the scalps of most cultivators tingle painfully, even from a distance. The thunder spirit moving through the lake resembled a serpent. At times it would condense into a visible form and release a low, resounding roar. Shu Ting let out a cold snort and stepped forward toward the Thunder Lake. The instant his foot touched its surface, countless arcs of lightning surged from beneath his feet and spread across his entire body. Thunder coiled around him. His body trembled slightly. He took a deep breath, then advanced 5 steps before sitting down cross-legged. Behind him, Shengong Hu stepped forward. His cultivation was tied to thunder, and he frequently visited such places. This was not even his first time entering this Thunder Lake. His expression remained calm as he walked in and sat down cross-legged. Soon after, others followed and entered the Thunder Lake one after another. However, there were a few whose cultivation was insufficient. The moment they stepped in, their bodies shook violently, and they hastily retreated. Their faces turned pale as though they had suffered internal injuries. Wang Lin held the jade Shi Zifeng had given him and examined it. Then he glanced toward her. Her face was completely flushed, yet she did not dare meet his gaze. He let out a faint sigh. With a sweep of his divine sense, he understood that this jade could defend against powerful thunder. It was clearly a valuable protective treasure she possessed. After a moment of thought, he placed the jade within the folds of his robe and stepped into the Thunder Lake. Though Shi Zifeng kept her head lowered, she still noticed his actions. When she saw him carefully place the jade inside his robe, her heart began to race even faster. Yet at that same moment, she failed to notice her cousin, the strikingly handsome man in blue, staring coldly at Wang Lin after he entered the lake. Hidden deep within his gaze was a trace of hostility, subtle yet unmistakable. Wang Lin's expression remained calm as he stepped into the Thunder Lake. The instant his right foot made contact, a powerful surge of thunder rushed into his body through that foot. A wave of comfort immediately spread through him, as though he had returned home. Yet his face revealed none of this. As he walked forward, thunder coiled around him, continuously rumbling without end. Finding an empty spot, Wang Lin sat down cross-legged. The second trial begins now. The drum will mark the time. Master Flamespark's voice rang out once more. Two messengers immediately stepped forward. A flash of black light appeared between them, and a large drum materialized. A deep, resonant drumbeat echoed across heaven and earth. It seemed to suppress even the roar of thunder. One drumbeat, one breath. Within the Thunder Lake, nearly 200 cultivators sat in meditation. As the first drumbeat resounded, the thunder within the lake trembled and rose 3 inches above the ground. It roared violently, and countless bolts of lightning flashed wildly, forming a raging thunderstorm. Within that storm, the Thunder Spirit moved, releasing its power. A shocking transformation unfolded inside the lake. Massive amounts of thunder surged into the bodies of the cultivators like a flood. Some concentrated their minds to resist, while others brought out treasures for defense. At that moment, the entire Thunder Lake shone with blinding light. Xu Ting was surrounded by black mist, which blocked the thunder from entering his body. The other cultivators each used their own methods to resist. Wang Lin, however, simply sat there. Thunder whistled past him, and vast amounts of it entered his body, nourishing his origin soul. The injuries he had suffered from battling Russell rapidly began to heal. It was an indescribably comfortable sensation. He closed his eyes, not even bothering to observe the others. The second drumbeat echoed. The thunder within the lake grew even more violent. The Thunder Spirit roared and began swinging a whip formed of lightning. Each strike that landed upon a cultivator caused their body to tremble violently. The drum continued to sound, the third beat, the fourth, until the 10th beat. By then, the thunder within the lake had reached a terrifying level. Countless bolts of lightning rose to a height of 30 feet, engulfing everything. Immediately, a cultivator from the southern domain turned pale and coughed up blood. It was as if he had been struck by an overwhelming force. His body was thrown outward, lightning still clinging to him as blood poured from his wounds. He was heavily injured. The black mist surrounding Xu Ting grew denser, isolating the thunder even further. His expression remained indifferent, but his gaze was fixed on Wang Lin. Ever since Wang Lin entered, Xu Ting had been watching him. Wang Lin's behavior was simply too abnormal. This Xu Mu, he hasn't resisted at all. He hasn't used any magical treasures. He's just sitting there calmly, as if this were a place for cultivation. Even stranger, the powerful thunder entering his body is actually disappearing. The more Xu Ting thought, the more shocked he became. He formed countless speculations, yet none brought him closer to the truth. In the sky, one of the messengers raised his hand and struck the black drum once more. The 11th drumbeat echoed amid the thunderous rumbling. All the thunder within the lake suddenly trembled and gathered toward a single point. Moments later, a 1,000-foot-long serpent took shape. It resembled a snake, yet also a dragon entirely formed from thunder. Its entire body radiated overwhelming lightning pressure. It was the Thunder Spirit. Roar, the Thunder Spirit fully formed and released a deafening roar. The sound echoed like ancient thunder, shaking the heavens and striking directly into the minds of all cultivators. Even Xu Ting's black mist nearly collapsed under that roar. Shock flashed across his eyes as more mist surged from between his brows. If even Xu Ting was affected, the others fared far worse. Under this heaven-shaking roar, more than 10 cultivators coughed up blood and were blasted out of the lake. As the 12th, 13th, and 14th drumbeats resounded, the Thunder Spirit's roar grew even more intense. Finally, when the 15th drumbeat echoed, the Thunder Spirit surged forward. It opened its mouth and spat out a vast torrent of lightning. The sky itself seemed to change color. The cultivators outside the lake all turned pale. Even from afar, they could feel the irresistible might of heaven contained within that thunder. That pressure gathered to its peak before being unleashed. This time, dozens of cultivators coughed blood and were hurled away. The terror in their eyes reached an extreme. Shen Gonghu struggled bitterly. His previous limit had been 15 breaths. Now a single belief within his heart forced him to endure. Zhan Kongli took a deep breath, gritting his teeth as he resisted the thunder. The 6-fingered cultivator and the big-headed boy were the same. However, it was clear they had yet to use their full strength. They appeared more at ease, Yet even their composure could not compare to Wang Lin's. As Wang Lin sat there, endless thunder poured into his body, nourishing his origin soul. Not only had his previous injuries fully recovered, even the hidden wounds left by Yao Bingyun had completely vanished. As for the thunder spirit's roar filled with the might of lightning when it reached Wang Lin's ears, it was no more than the cry of a child. Slightly strange, yet undeniably so. In the eyes of others, it was terrifyingly powerful, but in Wang Lin's perception, it was merely a child. More precisely, a child gradually evolving into a thunder dragon. Wang Lin remained calm, ignoring everything around him. His eyes stayed closed as he focused on absorbing the thunder, strengthening his ancient thunder dragon origin soul bit by bit. After the 15th drumbeat, the restriction on the thunder spirit was lifted. It roared in exhilaration, its massive body sweeping across the lake and stirring waves of lightning. More than 10 cultivators were struck, their faces turning pale as they were sent flying. The thunder spirit seemed delighted. It roared again and swept across the lake once more. This time, Wang Lin was among those caught within its path. At the instant the thunder spirit swept toward him, Wang Lin suddenly opened his eyes and looked at it. His gaze was that of an adult observing an ignorant child at play. The thunder spirit had been filled with pride, yet in that instant it met Wang Lin's gaze. That gaze pierced through its body and struck directly at its thunder soul. A terrifying force surged from the inheritance buried deep within that soul, sweeping through it like a storm. The thunder spirit was instantly seized by overwhelming fear. It cried out sharply, its entire body trembling without control. Its charge toward Wang Lin halted abruptly. It retreated at once. This reaction came not from thought, but from instinct, as if an irresistible force compelled it to withdraw. Wang Lin slowly closed his eyes. He no longer paid the thunder spirit any attention. Within his perception, this creature was merely a fragment, a sliver of a greater soul. The true thunder spirit of the thunder celestial realm could never be so weak. The thunder spirit withdrew, its eyes filled with terror. It had long since awakened intelligence. Before this, it had never regarded any cultivator as a threat. Yet now it felt as though it had encountered its own ancestor. This sensation came from its thunder soul. It was an ancient memory engraved into its very being, passed down through countless generations before its birth. In the distant past, the heavens granted thunder dragons dominion over thunder. From that power they were born. They were creatures of thunder itself, the spirits of all thunder between heaven and earth. Every bolt of lightning belonged to them. Yet thunder dragons were not eternal. They were born from thunder, and when they perished, they returned to it. Their forms dissolved into thunder spirits, drifting back into the void, merging once more with the essence of thunder. However, within the thunder celestial realm, there once existed such a thunder spirit. Through some unknown method, the celestials prevented its dissipation and instead bound it, making it the guardian beast of the realm. The thunder spirit within the thunder celestial temple was merely a fragment split from that guardian. But when it saw Wang Lin, it felt a shock unlike anything before. Fortunately, once Wang Lin closed his eyes, the oppressive majesty of the ancient thunder dragon faded. He returned to absorbing thunder calm and unmoved. The thunder spirit slowly relaxed, though anger burned within it. With a roar, it turned and charged toward the other cultivators. Within the black mist, Shu Ting's eyes shone like torches. His mind trembled violently. He could not believe what he had just witnessed. This Shu Mu was simply too terrifying. How is this possible? He only looked at it, and the thunder spirit was terrified. And that expression, it was like a junior meeting, a senior of its own bloodline. Shen Gonghu had also seen it. His eyes burned with fanaticism. He recalled the moment he first met Wang Lin in that thunder lake. He would never forget it. The figure with flowing black hair stepping out from the lake, and that gaze, as if it could shatter his entire body. It was etched into his memory forever. "My lord!" The fervor in Shen Gonghu's eyes grew even stronger. Jiang Kongli inhaled sharply, staring at Wang Lin. He remembered the battle at the Thunder Lake. Under Wang Lin's guidance, Shen Gonghu had grasped, however faintly, the laws of thunder. The surrounding cultivators also noticed. Their hearts shook, their faces filled with disbelief. Wang Lin ignored them all. Sitting calmly, he began to comprehend the laws of thunder. Gradually, he sank deeper into cultivation, forgetting the world around him. On the prayer mat, Qing Shui narrowed his eyes, a faint smile appearing. Beside him, Master Flamespark was briefly stunned, then sighed with a bitter smile. He had almost forgotten without his help, this Shu Mu had nearly become a thunder spirit himself. This so-called earth trial posed no challenge at all. To Shu Mu, it was like walking into his own courtyard. Forget it. Let this serve as compensation for borrowing his thunder beast and for repairing my relationship with Qing Shui. Master Flamespark smiled wryly, choosing not to interfere. As for the thunder spirit, after being frightened by Wang Lin, it behaved like a child scolded by an elder. Roaring in fury, it rushed toward the other cultivators to vent its anger. Its first target was Shi Zifeng's cousin, the handsome young man in blue robes. His hands formed seals, and 3 green jades floated before him, absorbing all incoming thunder. The thunder spirit roared and charged directly. Its roar carried immense force. The blue-robed man's expression changed. He wanted to retreat, but in the end he gritted his teeth. In an instant, the thunder spirit slammed into him. A deafening explosion echoed. Thunder throughout the lake scattered wildly. The 3 jades shattered into dust. The blue-robed man coughed up blood and retreated rapidly. But the thunder spirit, consumed by rage, pursued him relentlessly, spewing endless lightning. The man fled swiftly, exiting the thunder lake. His face darkened as he glared viciously at the thunder spirit before it turned to its next target. The drum beats echoed. 16th, 17th, 18th. At the 18th beat, the thunder spirit descended into madness. Nearly all cultivators within the square were driven out. It roared as it moved, now targeting Shen Gonghu and Zhan Kongliye. Both men forced bitter smiles and quickly retreated, unwilling to face its fury. Even the big-headed boy and the 6-fingered cultivator withdrew at the 19th beat. Neither wished to provoke a creature in such a state. Now only 2 remained within the Thunder Lake. Shu Ting stood within dense black mist. The mist extended 30 feet around him, impenetrable even to thunder. Opposite him, 1,000 feet away, Wang Lin sat quietly. Thunder coiled around him. His long hair drifted without wind. His presence was like that of a celestial of thunder. Shu Ting cursed inwardly. The thunder was growing stronger. He was reaching his limit. Yet when he looked at Wang Lin, frustration surged. How can he endure this long? I struggled just to hold on. Yet he sits as if nothing is happening. I refuse to accept this. His expression twisted. Dark energy surged from his brow. At that moment, the thunder spirit turned. It dared not provoke Wang Lin. Instead, it fixed its gaze on Shu Ting. With a roar, it charged. As it moved, the entire Thunder Lake erupted, lightning converging into its body. Ancient pressure radiated from it. With jaws wide open, it lunged to devour Shu Ting. The black mist around Shu Ting collapsed rapidly. His face turned pale. He was forced to retreat. The moment he exited the Thunder Lake, he roared in fury. I refuse to accept this. This Shu Mu must be cheating. The Thunder Spirit glanced at him, then turned toward Wang Lin. It roared again, but did not dare approach. The aura from Wang Lin made it tremble. Wang Lin opened his eyes. At that instant, lightning burst forth from them. He stood pondering briefly, then walked toward the center of the Thunder Lake under countless gazes. Moments ago, he had sensed something faint. Now, reaching the center, he sat cross-legged and began cultivating once more. The surrounding cultivators were stunned. This Shu Mu is completely unaffected by the thunder, and he's so calm. What cultivation method is this? That thunder spirit feared him. This is too strange. This Shu Mu is far from simple. Shu Ting stared for a long time before turning away. He understood now. This trial meant nothing to Shu Mu. They were not on the same level. The drumbeats continued. Wang Lin remained unmoving. The thunder spirit circled him. its gaze grew increasingly ferocious. A desire arose within its soul, a growing urge to devour him. Devour him, and you will become a thunder dragon. A voice roared within its soul, filled with boundless greed. The desire overwhelmed it. Its body trembled violently. With continuous roars, it gathered all thunder within the square into itself. More and more lightning converged, until at last it charged. At that moment, thunder roared endlessly. Cracks spread across the square as the gathered lightning surged into its body. Roar! The serpent-like thunder spirit lunged forward, consumed by monstrous greed. It rushed toward Wang Lin, driven by its desire to become a dragon. It was as if the entire Thunder Lake had been drawn into this charge. An unimaginable force descended upon Wang Lin, and at that very moment, a bolt of lightning flashed between Wang Lin's brows. His ancient Thunder Dragon origin soul burst forth. The ancient Thunder Dragons were sovereigns of all thunder beneath the heavens. Though Wang Lin had yet to fully merge with it, he had already gained immense power. Once fully integrated, all thunder in the world would lie within his grasp. The instant the ancient Thunder Dragon appeared, the Thunder Spirit trembled violently. An overwhelming aura descended. It could not resist. This fear came from its very inheritance. It could devour any cultivator. But before the presence of its ancestor, it had no courage at all. Yet within its soul, that mad voice only grew louder. Devour him, and you will become a Thunder Dragon. Wang Lin's ancient Thunder Dragon origin soul let out a low, furious roar. It surged forward and attempted to devour the Thunder Spirit in one motion. The Thunder Spirit's body trembled violently. The voice echoing from its soul was enough to drive it to madness. It roared in return and lunged, trying to devour Wang Lin instead. The collision between the ancient Thunder Dragon and the Thunder Spirit stirred a monstrous wave within the Thunder Lake. A thunderous rumble erupted, unprecedented in its intensity. They devoured each other without pause. This devouring was not of flesh, but of thunder itself. The Thunder Spirit was powerful, yet incomplete. The ancient Thunder Dragon was formidable, yet Wang Lin had not fully fused with it. In this moment, neither side held the advantage. With a wrathful roar, Wang Lin's ancient Thunder Dragon origin soul swallowed half of the Thunder Spirit. The Thunder Spirit shrieked, struggling violently, its madness deepening as it began its counter-devour. The ancient Thunder Dragon formed from Wang Lin's origin soul revealed a cold and indifferent gaze. It ignored the Thunder Spirit's resistance. Its mouth opened once more, and it devoured again. Wang Lin's origin soul still retained the nature of a devourer from the past. After merging with the ancient Thunder Dragon, that nature had grown even more terrifying. Coupled with over 1,000 years of cultivation, his ruthlessness had transformed his origin soul into something exceedingly vicious. It bit down again. Half of the Thunder Spirit's remaining body was dragged into its jaws and crushed without mercy. The snake-like Thunder Spirit let out a miserable cry. It retreated rapidly, reduced to half its form. Madness filled its eyes. As it roared even more, thunder surged up from beneath the ground, as though a deeper and more terrifying source of thunder lay hidden below the square. The roars merged into heavenly thunder. Shockwaves spread outward in violent succession. Continuous rumbles birthed a fierce storm that erupted and swept across the area. Massive stones collapsed and were hurled backward. Dust surged into the air, only to disintegrate the instant it rose. Even the shattered fragments of stone were enveloped by thunder and instantly reduced to nothing. In the blink of an eye, every stone on the square, except the one beneath Wang Lin, was obliterated. Yet the storm did not cease. It spread outward once more. At the same time, a powerful force of thunder hidden underground surged upward, rushing directly toward the Thunder Spirit. It was as if divine punishment had descended upon the Thunder Celestial Temple. The surrounding cultivators' expressions changed drastically. They retreated at once. Even the ancestors revealed flickers of light in their eyes. As the storm expanded again, the old monsters seated upon the prayer mats narrowed their eyes. Master Flamespark forced a bitter smile. He raised his right hand and pressed down. A dull rumble followed, and the storm that had been surging outward abruptly vanished. At this moment, boundless thunder poured into the Thunder Spirit. Wang Lin's ancient Thunder Dragon origin soul, having devoured half of it, suddenly felt an overwhelming impulse. This was something Wang Lin had never experienced before. Yet, as the devoured portion of the Thunder Spirit transformed into endless thunder within him, he could no longer suppress it. It was as if a roar had formed inside him, one that could not be contained. This became the first thunderous roar Wang Lin released after obtaining the ancient Thunder Dragon origin soul. The sound pierced through the Thunder Celestial Temple. It seemed to etch itself into the world, becoming an eternal echo of thunder. At this moment, this sound was thunder itself. All thunder was compelled to obey it. The ancient Thunder Dragon's dominion over thunder came from this roar. Until now, Wang Lin had not fused deeply enough to wield it. He had never been able to truly command thunder. But after devouring half of the Thunder Spirit, he finally unleashed it. A roar erupted. The heavens and earth changed color. Every bolt of thunder that had been gathering toward the Thunder Spirit trembled. Then, as if guided by an unseen will, they changed direction. Like worshippers on pilgrimage, they surged toward Wang Lin's ancient Thunder Dragon origin soul. The expressions of the surrounding cultivators shifted completely. Even the old monsters on the prayer mats were shaken. Blood God's eyes gleamed coldly. For the first time, Qing Shui laughed. Good. Ancient Thunder Dragon origin soul shock filled Master Flamespark's eyes. A vein bulged on his forehead. He nearly rose to intervene. Yet after a moment of hesitation, he let out a quiet sigh. With Qing Shui present, he had no grounds to interfere with Wang Lin devouring the Thunder Spirit. If he dared interrupt such a rare opportunity, Qing Shui's fury would be inevitable. If even the old monsters reacted this way, the others needed no mention. Shu Ting watched everything unfold, a storm rising within his heart. He began to think in silence. Unless absolutely necessary, it is best not to provoke him. Shen Gonghu's eyes burned with excitement. He could no longer suppress it. The fanatic admiration in his gaze toward Wang Lin deepened further. Jian Kongli was stunned. For the first time, his eyes also filled with that same fanatic respect. As for the big-headed boy and the six-fingered cultivator, their minds trembled. Terror filled their eyes. They made a firm decision: this Shu Mu must not be provoked lightly. He dared to devour a Thunder Spirit. With a single roar, he had commanded the entire Thunder Lake. Such a technique made their scalps go numb. Not only did the Thunder Lake bow to Wang Lin, even the Thunder Spirit trembled violently beneath that roar. Like thunder descending from the heavens, an invisible force pressed upon it, forcing it to submit and worship. This was the power of the ancient Thunder Dragon. Endless bolts of thunder poured into Wang Lin's origin soul. His origin soul surged forward once more. This time, the remaining half of the Thunder Spirit did not dare resist. It allowed itself to be devoured completely. Before this, Wang Lin's fusion with the ancient Thunder Dragon had only reached 1/5. But after devouring the Thunder Spirit and absorbing the Thunder Lake, a storm erupted within him. Endless rumbles echoed through his being. The fusion between his origin soul and the ancient Thunder Dragon surged to nearly half. His ancient Thunder Dragon origin soul expanded instantly, stretching beyond 1,000 feet. A crushing pressure spread outward. Its cold gaze swept across the surroundings before it shrank back and returned to the space between Wang Lin's eyebrows. At the same time, all remaining thunder within the square gathered toward him. Wang Lin opened his eyes amid endless rumbling. Thunder coiled around his body. Within his heart, a feeling arose: absolute control over thunder. When he stood, the square around him had been reduced to ruins. Not a trace of thunder remained. Master Flamespark's expression turned extremely unsightly. His heart ached. He stared at Wang Lin, unable to speak for a long time. In the end, he could only let out a long, helpless sigh. The surroundings fell into complete silence. A silence identical to the moment Qing Shui had slain Russell. Wang Lin's body crackled with thunder, sharp and crisp, echoing in the silence. He pondered quietly for a moment, then stepped forward. Beneath his feet, the collapsed stone square gave off dull, crunching sounds as he walked. The instant he stepped beyond the square, all the other participants instinctively retreated. Fear filled their eyes as they looked at him. After a brief silence, murmurs spread among the surrounding cultivators. What had just occurred was far beyond anyone's expectations. The name Shu Mu carved itself deeply into their minds. In the human trial, he fought Russell. In the earth trial, he devoured the Thunder Spirit. This is no ordinary cultivator. I wonder how Shu Mu will perform in the heaven trial. Master Demon Shu Mu. Truly formidable. Today I finally believe the rumors. This person must not be provoked. He will surely rank within the top 3. Even some of the old monsters revealed a glimmer of admiration in their eyes as they looked at Wang Lin. What the all-heaven star system needed were juniors like this. The ancestor of the Xiang family in particular nodded repeatedly. The more he observed Wang Lin, the more he approved. The loss of the Thunder Celestial Temple did not concern him in the slightest. Instead, he felt that Shu Mu resembled members of his own clan. There was a faint, wicked aura about him. The messengers in the sky fell silent. They no longer struck the drum. In their hearts they knew that even if they beat it until it shattered, it would serve no purpose if Shu Mu chose to persist. They exchanged glances and smiled bitterly. Yet within their gazes toward Wang Lin, there was no jealousy, only a trace of respect. Wang Lin ignored all of this. After leaving the square, he clasped his hands toward Master Flamespark and said, "Junior has made a mistake. I hope Senior will not take offense." His tone resembled that of his own senior Qing Shui. When Celestial Lord Qing Shui heard this, he smiled faintly. Master Flamespark also smiled. No harm done. To sacrifice a mere Thunder Lake and a Thunder Spirit clone in exchange for strengthening a powerful junior, this is worthwhile. As for the destruction of the Thunder Lake, sufficient military merit in the war against the Alliance star system will compensate for it. As he spoke, he raised his right hand and pointed. The world seemed to tremble. Endless origin energy gathered, condensing rapidly into a single rune. This rune pulsed with vitality. Wang Lin's pupils contracted. He could clearly sense a trace of source origin energy within it. Though it was only a sliver, it imbued the rune with boundless power. Master Flamespark flicked his finger. The rune shot toward the square. The moment it landed, the origin energy dispersed and that trace of source origin energy seeped into the ground. Gasps erupted from the surrounding cultivators as the shattered square began to reform, as if time itself had reversed. Even the stones that had turned to ash reappeared from nothingness, reconstructing the square piece by piece. All of this happened in an instant. The square returned to its original state, only the thunder was gone. Wang Lin watched in silence, a glimmer of understanding rising within him. The next trial will be the final one. The Heaven Trial Master Flamespark turned to Li Yunzi. "Fellow cultivator Li Yun, please." Li Yunzi lifted his right hand and reached into the void. A crack appeared and a surge of cold air poured out. He reached inside and retrieved a scroll. The scroll was ancient, exuding an aura of great antiquity. He tossed it into the air. As it floated, it emitted a dark glow and slowly unfurled. Within the scroll, there was only a single word: battle. Though it was just one word, it radiated overwhelming killing intent. Anyone who gazed upon it would feel as though they had been cast into an Asura battlefield. The Zhan family's treasure, the Battle Scroll, one of the 10 great treasures of the all-heaven star system. Only Zhan family members may view it. To witness it today is a blessing. That treasure. It is said the Zhan family was not originally named Zhan. Their ancestor discovered this scroll by chance. After refining it with great effort, they took its name and became the Battle Clan. Excited discussions echoed endlessly. Li Yunzi's expression remained calm. This old man will oversee the heaven trial. With a casual wave of his hand, a gentle breeze swept across the area. Dozens of cultivators were instantly blown away without resistance, sent directly into the transfer array where they vanished. These were the ones who had failed the second trial. Only 147 remained. The Heaven Trial requires you to comprehend this battle scroll for 10 seconds. After 10 seconds, there is no need to open your eyes. I will know whether you are qualified." His words confused many, but none dared question him. Silence fell. Li Yunzi turned to Zhan Congli. "You will go first." As ancestor commands, Zhan Congli stepped forward, his expression solemn. He stood upon the restored square and gazed at the scroll. Soon he entered a strange state, as though his entire being had been drawn into it. Wang Lin watched closely. After a moment, his expression grew serious. At the 8th second, Zhan Congli's divine sense seemed to split. A portion of it merged with the battle scroll. At that very moment, a trace of source origin energy, far weaker than what Master Flamespark had displayed, emerged from the scroll. Yet at the 10th second, it collapsed, unable to remain within Zhan Congli's body. Most cultivators could not perceive this, but Wang Lin, having witnessed the 3rd step within the heaven-defying bead, saw clearly. His heart trembled. That battle scroll contains source origin energy. Zhan Congli, qualified Li Yunzi, said calmly. Zhan Congli immediately awakened. His body was drenched in sweat, his face pale. He took several deep breaths, clearly exhausted, as though he had just fought a fierce battle. After stepping back, he bowed to Li Yunzi and left the square. Few among the crowd grasped the true secret. They speculated endlessly on how he had passed. One by one, others stepped forward. Yet among the dozen that followed, 8 were eliminated instantly. Tension spread. No one could discern how Li Yunzi judged success. Wang Lin's expression darkened further as he observed. Those who failed had indeed split their divine sense, but the battle scroll rejected them. It seemed to possess its own will. Those who succeeded all resembled Zhan Congli. They managed to merge a portion of their divine sense with the scroll, briefly drawing out that trace of source origin energy. Yet none could retain it. Another detail stood out: most only achieved fusion at the 9th or 10th second. Very few reached it as early as the 8th second. Xu Ting's eyes flickered. He seemed to sense something, though uncertain. After a moment of thought, he stepped forward. Li Yunzi glanced at him and nodded slightly. Xu Ting stared at the battle scroll. A strange light appeared in his eyes. Black gas formed between his brows, slowly rotating. At the 5th second, his divine sense split and was absorbed. Wang Lin's pupils shrank. 5 seconds. Without the fortune I encountered, he still reached this state so quickly. His talent is terrifying. Li Yunzi's eyes shone. He nodded inwardly. Within the Zhan family, fewer than 10 could achieve this in 5 seconds, and most had trained extensively with the scroll. As for those who could do so on their first attempt, only 3 existed. This child is extraordinary. Li Yunzi thought a rare hint of admiration appearing in his gaze. The old monsters also perceived the secret. The faster one entered the state, the greater the inheritance gained. Yet few knew that this power was tied to the elusive 3rd step they all pursued. Master Flamespark's eyes flickered. He ignored the scroll, focusing solely on Xu Ting. This one has that talent. At 10 seconds, Xu Ting awakened. Wang Lin's eyes gleamed. He saw clearly the trace of source origin energy had entered Xu Ting's body, and a tiny portion remained. His mind trembled. He understood the significance. Xu Ting would not realize it now, but when he reached the peak of the 2nd step, this would bring unimaginable benefits. This Xu Ting, he has shown killing intent toward me before. He cannot be allowed to live. Wang Lin remained calm, but killing intent surged within him. Xu Ting qualified Li Yunzi declared, memorizing his name. After a pause, he added, "There are 3 battle scrolls. When the passage to the Alliance star system opens, seek me out. I will allow you to view the 2nd scroll." Jealousy stirred among the cultivators, though none voiced it. Xu Ting bowed respectfully. "Thank you, Senior Li Yunzi." Even Zhan Congli felt bitterness. Within his clan, only a handful could view the 2nd scroll. The 3rd only the Patriarch and 2 elders had ever seen. Xu Ting stepped back, casting a dark glance at Wang Lin. Wang Lin met his gaze coldly, then he stepped forward. A cultivator named Zhao Yido had been next. But upon seeing Wang Lin move, he immediately retreated, embarrassed. He remembered clearly how he had once been dismissed with a single wave of Wang Lin's sleeve. Now he cursed his luck and withdrew. Wang Lin's presence drew every eye. His name had already shaken the competition. From battling Russell to devouring the Thunder Spirit, all awaited his performance in the Heaven Trial. Even the ancestors of great clans watched intently. The old monsters seated above observed with faint smiles, except for the Blood God, who snorted coldly before also turning his gaze toward Wang Lin. Master Flamespark sighed inwardly. Wang Lin was troublesome, yet there was a connection between them, and Qing Shui's involvement made suppression unwise. Now curiosity flickered within his eyes. Wang Lin stepped onto the square. He clasped his hands toward Li Yunzi, then raised his head, and looked at the battle scroll. At first glance, the word battle appeared utterly ordinary. Yet upon closer inspection, an unimaginable killing intent as if born from endless war came crashing down with overwhelming force. In that instant, illusions rose before Wang Lin's eyes. Heaven and earth seemed to collapse. All things vanished: the square, the surrounding cultivators, even the Thunder Celestial Temple itself. Everything disappeared, leaving behind only that single word battle. Wang Lin felt his body tremble as his entire being sank into a trance. It was as though a mysterious power had erupted from the word battle. This power descended upon him and seized control of his mind. His origin soul felt torn away from his flesh, the connection between them severed completely. A monstrous killing intent surrounded him. Wang Lin felt like a mortal cast naked into the depths of a harsh winter. The biting cold seemed intent on extinguishing the fragile flame of his life. Within that trance, Wang Lin felt as though he had returned to the moment when the heaven-defying bead was whole. The door appeared once more. The instant it opened, a surge of origin energy flooded outward. A third eye slowly formed between his brows and gradually opened. Yet no red light emerged. Though Wang Lin stood motionless, his mind trembled violently. The sensation of facing that door within the heaven-defying bead resurfaced once again. However, compared to that time, the current feeling was infinitely weaker. Back then, a single glance had nearly caused Wang Lin to collapse. Now, as he gazed upon the word battle, though shaken, he could endure. It was clear that the origin energy contained within the word battle could not compare to that of the heaven-defying bead. To Wang Lin, the bead remained unfathomably mysterious, but this word, this battle, was something he could grasp. Though these thoughts seemed to stretch across a long span of time, in reality, they all occurred the moment Wang Lin raised his head. Only a single second had passed. Li Yunzi had never held a favorable opinion of Wang Lin. Although Shumu had managed to fight Russell and displayed remarkable techniques without Qing Shui's intervention, defeat would have been inevitable. As for the second trial, Shumu's success in devouring the Thunder Spirit was in Li Yunzi's eyes nothing more than luck. Li Yunzi had reached his current cultivation through relentless effort. To him, cultivators who relied on luck were unworthy, and Shumu was one of them. Yet at this very moment, his eyes shone with an unprecedented brilliance. He took 3 steps forward, staring fixedly at Wang Lin as if something within his heart had begun to roar. 1 second, this Shumu entered the state in only 1 second. Even with Li Yunzi's formidable mental discipline, excitement surged within him. Throughout the entire history of the Jian family, no one had ever achieved this in a single second. Even their heaven-defying ancestor had required 2. At this moment, Li Yunzi had completely forgotten Shu Ting. All his thoughts were now occupied by Wang Lin. Not just him, every old monster seated upon the praying mats was shaken. Like Li Yunzi, they had previously regarded Wang Lin's performance in the earlier trials as mere amusement. But now each of them began to observe him with full attention. The Blood God's pupils contracted as he stared at Wang Lin. Amid his shock, a surge of killing intent rose once more within his heart. This child entered the state in 1 second. He cannot be allowed to live. As this thought formed, he suddenly felt a cold, killing intent locking onto him. Turning his head, he saw Qing Shui gazing at him with icy indifference. The blood god let out a cold snort. He suppressed his killing intent, burying it deep within his heart. The other ancestors, those from families that carried celestial inheritances, also watched intently. The admiration in the Xiang family ancestors' eyes deepened further. The more he looked at Wang Lin, the more pleased he became. This child is no mere fish in a pond, he thought. Master Flamespark revealed a smile. When his gaze fell upon the astonished Li Yunzi, that smile only grew wider. Zhan Congli, aware of the family's internal matters, gasped when he saw Wang Lin enter the state in a single second. He stood there utterly stunned. As for Shu Ting, he frowned deeply, his heart filled with turmoil. He had once been a favored child of the heavens. Yet during the human trial, Shu Mu had overshadowed him. In the earth trial, he had been far inferior. And now in the heaven trial, even the praise he received from Li Yunzi had vanished in an instant. It was as if Shu Mu had become his destined nemesis. Wang Lin's divine sense split into two and fused with the word battle. A trace of origin energy flowed from the word and slowly circulated through his body. Just as it was about to leave, it trembled, then surged wildly toward the third eye. That strand of origin energy rushed into the third eye between his brows. In that instant, a brilliant red light burst forth. As more strands of origin energy poured in, the red light grew increasingly intense. After 10 seconds, Wang Lin awakened. The red light gathered within his third eye, suddenly erupted outward in a fan-shaped burst. The crimson radiance flashed, drawing exclamations from the surrounding cultivators. The fan-shaped light enveloped the entire battle scroll. Within that glow, Wang Lin faintly saw a strange scene. It was a distant star system. An old man in white stood within the void, raising his finger to write the word battle in space. The word shone brightly, then split into 6 separate scrolls. A powerful origin energy emanated from the old man. His expression was filled with melancholy regret and reluctance as he gazed at the word. Then he lifted his head toward the stars, and in that moment disbelief filled his eyes. Wang Lin's body trembled. The red light from his third eye vanished. He had awakened. What he had just witnessed was the result of his third eye forming a connection with the battle scroll. That fleeting vision felt both illusory and profoundly real. As the red light faded, the third eye gradually closed. It didn't disappear, but instead transformed into a thin red line that remained between his brows. At this moment, Wang Lin exuded an indescribable aura. You saw it. Li Yunzi stepped forward and instantly appeared before Wang Lin. His gaze was fixed, his voice carrying a trace of excitement. Wang Lin pondered silently, then nodded. He could clearly sense a terrifying power within the red line between his brows. A faint pain accompanied it, as though that power resisted confinement and sought to burst forth. Li Yunzi stared at him for a long time. Then he laughed. Good. Shu Mu, once the celestial competition ends, come find me. This old man will let you see the remaining 2 battle scrolls. Wang Lin's expression remained calm, yet a faint ripple stirred within his heart. From the illusion he had witnessed, it was clear there were 6 scrolls. He did not reveal any emotion. With composed respect, he clasped his hands and said, Many thanks, Senior Li Yunzi. Li Yunzi laughed softly. His gaze lingered on Wang Lin, sharp and observant. Then, with a flick of his sleeve, he summoned another to continue the heaven trial. Wang Lin turned without hesitation and left the square. He found a quiet open space and sat down. Ignoring the many eyes fixed upon him, he entered silent cultivation. As he cultivated, waves of pain surged from the center of his brow. It felt as though something inside him was on the verge of losing control. A faint understanding arose in his mind. The third eye had absorbed origin source energy. A profound transformation had taken place. Whether it was fortune or calamity, even he could not tell. But one thing was certain. If the pain continued unchecked, if it broke past the limits of his control and erupted outward, the backlash would be devastating. He drew a slow breath. With a single thought, he condensed endless annihilation heart restrictions. One after another they formed. Gradually 3 seals emerged, pressing down upon the third eye. Yet the power within that eye was far too vast. The seals could only suppress it temporarily. As time passed, he would need to reinforce them again and again. Even so, Wang Lin did not find it troublesome. No matter what, the spell within the third eye will become my trump card for survival. After Wang Lin, the remaining cultivators continued the trial. Half an hour later, all who remained had completed the third test. Li Yunzi extended his right hand. The battle scroll returned to him. As he turned, a gust of wind swept outward from his body. Those who had failed were instantly sent back into the transfer array in the sky. Out of 147 participants, only 112 remained. Li Yunzi returned to his praying mat. At that moment, Master Flamespark's gaze swept across the crowd. His eyes burned like torches. Slowly he spoke. The 3 trials have ended. Those who remain are the elites of this generation. Originally, the 6 paths of the mysterious void would be used to test your Tao. However, since your numbers are already close to 108, we will proceed directly to the final trial, One Line to Heaven. He paused, then continued. In this trial, 108 will receive celestial titles. Of these, the top 36 shall be granted the title of Heaven Celestial. In One Line to Heaven, all of you will exist as phantoms. Even if you die, your true body will suffer only minor harm. It will not greatly affect you. After speaking, Master Flamespark slapped his storage bag. An octagonal wooden object appeared in his hand. He tossed it into the air. Instantly it expanded over 100 feet wide. It rotated slowly, radiating bursts of multicolored light. Enter the square, he commanded. The 112 cultivators stepped forward. They sat in lotus position across the square. Moments later, Master Flamespark formed a seal. Beams of light erupted from the wooden artifact. Each cultivator was enveloped in a ray of 5-colored light. The instant the light descended, all consciousness vanished. A dense jungle emerged. Towering trees stretched endlessly, their branches intertwined, forming a vast canopy. Leaves overlapped like a woven net, sealing the sky. Only narrow gaps allowed faint beams of light to pierce through, casting an eerie glow below. The ground was layered with rotting leaves. Poisonous insects crawled through the decay, instinctively avoiding the scattered shafts of light. At that moment, one of the ancient trees flickered with 5-colored brilliance. Wang Lin stepped out. The instant he appeared, he moved. He leapt upward and landed on a thick branch. Without hesitation, he activated heart restrictions, concealing his aura completely. Tempered by countless life and death struggles, Wang Lin remained cautious. This so-called One Line to Heaven was far less perilous than the demon's spirit land. He would not make the foolish mistake of spreading his divine sense upon arrival. Just then, a strand of divine sense swept through the area. It passed over him without pause and continued onward. Moments later, that same divine sense trembled. Panic surged within it. It scattered wildly, then collapsed. A miserable scream echoed from afar. Wang Lin's eyes gleamed. So, unless I am absolutely certain of my superiority, I cannot spread my divine sense here. The moment I do, I will be exposed and hunted. He pondered briefly. Circulating his origin energy, he examined his body. Subtle clues confirmed the truth. This body was identical to his real one. Yet upon death, it would not cause serious harm. A trial without true death. It allows inexperienced cultivators to undergo life and death battles. His gaze turned cold. This must be the true intention of the Thunder Celestial Temple, to cultivate real warriors. He attempted to merge with the world. It failed. This place was not real. After a moment of thought, his figure blurred into smoke and vanished. The human earth and heaven trials were merely tests. This is the true battlefield. If I want first place, then I must kill more than anyone else. A cold glint flashed within his eyes. At that instant, another divine sense swept across the jungle. Wang Lin moved. His speed was terrifying. In a blink, he located its source. It was Zhao Yidao. During the previous trials, this man had been interrupted twice by Wang Lin. Now he stood within the jungle, confusion evident in his expression. Acting on instinct and family teachings, he spread his divine sense to survey the surroundings. But the moment it expanded, a crushing sense of danger enveloped him. His face paled. He realized his mistake. He turned to flee. Too late. A mass of black mist surged from behind him. Killing intent erupted like a storm. It swallowed Zhao Yidao whole. A scream tore through the forest. Wang Lin stood 1,000 feet away, watching coldly. The black mist churned. It seemed to devour flesh, bone, and soul alike. Moments later, it receded. A figure stepped out. Shooting? He licked his lips. His gaze locked onto Wang Lin. Across the 1,000-foot distance, their eyes met. Invisible forces clashed. The air itself seemed to crack with faint popping sounds. Xu Ting feared Wang Lin deeply. Unless forced, he had no desire to provoke him. His voice was grim. "How about, we settle this at the end?" Wang Lin said nothing. He merely looked at Xu Ting, cold, detached. Then he turned. In a flash, he disappeared. Killing Xu Ting was not his priority. Killing more people was. Xu Ting exhaled slowly, relief flickering across his face. He retreated back into the mist and moved in the opposite direction. An unspoken boundary had been drawn. Neither would cross into the other's domain. Wang Lin did not waste time searching blindly. He chose a massive tree and sat upon it. Then, his divine sense spread outward. In an instant, over 10 strands of divine sense detected him. They surged toward him like predators scenting blood. In this place, even if you did not seek to kill, others would come for you. Wang Lin opened his mouth and spat out an object. The celestial sealing stamp. It hovered before him, radiating golden light. Among the countless golden seals, 2 contained the origin souls of cultivators. Their power was distinctly different. Wang Lin was uncertain whether these illusionary souls could be sealed. He did not dwell on it. He waited, calm, motionless, waiting for the first fool to approach death. A few breaths later, a figure burst from the jungle to his right, moving like lightning. But the moment it entered within 1,000 feet, it froze. Recognition flashed. Terror followed. Without hesitation, the cultivator turned and fled. Wang Lin remained unmoved. At the instant the man appeared, the celestial sealing stamp shot forward. It was impossibly fast. The fleeing cultivator panicked. His hands formed seals. Spells erupted. Useless. The stamp closed in. It expanded suddenly, descending with crushing force. Golden runes spread outward, sealing all paths of escape. Despair filled the cultivator's eyes. He slapped his storage bag. Hundreds of flying swords surged forth, forming a desperate defense. A thunderous roar echoed. All the swords shattered. The celestial sealing stamp crashed down. A miserable groan rang out. The cultivator's body disintegrated. A single golden rune flew out. It flickered, then slowly gained awareness. Wang Lin narrowed his eyes. He recalled the stamp and examined it carefully. Then he raised his head. His gaze pierced the distant jungle. His voice was calm, cold. "How long do you all intend to wait before making your move?" Silence. The forest did not respond. Moments later, 4 figures stepped out. All were at the corporeal yang stage. Their auras intertwined, merging into one force that barely matched Wang Lin's presence. They exchanged glances. One of them revealed a vicious expression. Without a word, he slapped his storage bag. A gourd flew out. With a hand seal, crimson flames burst forth, rushing toward Wang Lin. The 3 cultivators beside him clenched their teeth. They understood clearly if they did not act. Now there would be no path left to survival. One of them formed a hand seal. Instantly the surrounding vegetation surged with violent life. Vines and branches twisted and expanded, rushing toward Wang Lin like a tidal wave. Another opened his mouth and spat out a black bead. The bead cut through the air, closing in on Wang Lin with deadly precision. The final cultivator formed a seal as well. Hundreds of puppets burst forth, their movements rigid, yet relentless, all charging toward Wang Lin in unison. Yet in that very moment, the cultivator who had released the gourd suddenly saw his eyes flash. Without hesitation, he retreated, and the instant he moved, the other three followed. It was as if they had all reached the same conclusion at once. The four of them scattered, fleeing in four different directions. Wang Lin's eyes gleamed. The celestial sealing stamp surged outward. Vast and overwhelming, it spanned hundreds of feet. All incoming attacks crumbled beneath it without resistance. Then it flashed forward, chasing one of the fleeing figures. A thunderous explosion echoed. After crushing one, it did not stop. It immediately pursued another. Golden runes flooded the sky, hundreds of thousands of them, yet among them four radiated a strange intelligence. Wang Lin stared at those four distinct runes. A sharp light flickered in his eyes. A bold thought surfaced within his mind. If I merge the 1 billion soul flag with the celestial sealing stamp. His heart trembled faintly. The rumbling continued to echo through the forest. Moments later, the celestial sealing stamp returned. Now the number of intelligent runes had grown from 4 to 7. Wang Lin grasped the stamp. His figure vanished. Shen Gonghu's face was pale as he fled through the forest. The moment he appeared earlier, a killing intent had locked onto him. If not for his swift reaction and immediate evasion, he would have died the instant he revealed himself. Even so, he had been wounded. Now he fled with all his strength. Behind him, the big-headed boy chased relentlessly. The boy still wore that foolish smile, yet when he looked at Shen Gonghu, the smile carried a chilling coldness. He raised his hand and cast out a streak of purple light. The purple light transformed instantly. A massive purple ant dozens of feet tall emerged. Its aura was savage and ferocious. The moment it appeared, it roared and charged forward, its enormous forceps snapping through the air. It was far faster than Shen Gonghu. Without mercy, it closed in and clamped down. The boy's smile deepened colder still. He could already imagine it, the man before him, torn cleanly in half by his profound heavenly ant. He muttered softly, "What a pity. I can't open my storage bag here. Otherwise, I would have already taken his origin soul. There'd be no need to release the profound heavenly ant." At the brink of death, Shen Gonghu's eyes suddenly lit up. He turned abruptly. From his mouth he spat out a fist-sized sphere of thunder. It crackled violently as it shot toward the pursuing ant. A rumble filled the air, but the gap in cultivation was far too great. Before the thunder could even strike, the ant clamped it between its forceps. The thunder sphere shattered instantly. A deafening boom echoed outward. Yet the ant showed no sign of slowing. It ignored the impact completely and surged forward. Its forceps glowed with a chilling aura as they closed in on Shen Gonghu. Shen Gonghu revealed a bitter smile. From the moment he entered this place until now, less than 15 minutes had passed, and all of it had been spent running for his life. He had not killed a single person. Now he was about to be eliminated from the battlefield. But at that very moment, his eyes filled with shock. A familiar aura suddenly approached. Golden light flashed. A cold voice echoed between heaven and earth. "Seal." The word descended like a decree. Golden runes erupted around Shen Gonghu. With a loud bang, the ant's forceps slammed into them. In an instant, countless golden runes fused together, forming a raging golden storm. As it swept outward, the profound heavenly ant trembled and was forced to retreat. The foolish smile on the big-headed boy's face froze. His expression darkened. Without hesitation, he turned and fled. Wang Lin stepped out from the jungle behind Shen Gonghu. The celestial sealing stamp hovered before him, radiating a soft golden glow. My lord Shen Gonghu said, his face filled with reverence. Wang Lin gave a slight nod. His gaze swept toward the retreating boy. "You still think you can escape?" His voice was cold. He stepped forward. In a single step, he crossed hundreds of feet. The celestial sealing stamp surged forth once more. The big-headed boy's cultivation was at the early stage of Nirvana Scrya, no weaker than Wang Lin. But he had witnessed Wang Lin's rise through the 3 trials. Fear had already taken root in his heart. He didn't wish to provoke him. His foolish smile was gone. "Fellow cultivator Zhu Mu," he shouted quickly, I'll leave this area. Why must you pursue me? Our cultivation levels are equal. If we fight, both of us will suffer. Don't give Xu Ting an opportunity. Wang Lin's eyes remained icy. As he advanced, he raised his hand. A heavenly chop condensed into his palm. Without hesitation, he slashed downward. The big-headed boy's expression changed drastically. As he retreated, the profound heavenly ant roared and leapt forward to block. The instant the heavenly chop struck, the ant collapsed. The celestial sealing stamp flashed. A golden rune descended upon the collapsing ant, immediately gaining intelligence. The boy's face turned pale. He retreated rapidly, forming a seal. Celestial spell embrace. A ripple spread outward from him. As it expanded, the surroundings distorted. One fierce beast after another emerged, roaring angrily as they charged toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin's voice was calm, cold as winter wind. "Let me use you to test my control over thunder." The boy trembled. He remembered clearly during the earth trial, Wang Lin had devoured the thunder spirit. A bitter fear rose within him. He did not dare linger. After casting the spell, he retreated even faster. Wang Lin's eyes changed. Thunder began to gather wildly. "The thunder of heaven and earth all obeys me." He lifted his head toward the sky. From between his brows, the ancient thunder dragon origin soul flew out. It let out a roar. The sound echoed across the world. It was a roar from ancient times. Like heaven-splitting thunder, it spread in waves, shaking every cultivator on the battlefield. The ground trembled violently. The heavens seemed to overturn. Sun and moon reversed. Elsewhere, Xu Ting had just entered the black mist. With a smile, he was chasing another cultivator, ready to devour him. But then, he heard the roar. The battlefield shook. The black mist around him collapsed instantly. He was forced out, his face filled with shock as he looked into the distance. The fleeing cultivator coughed up blood. His face turned pale. Under the thunderous roar, he felt as if the sky itself had fallen upon him. In the jungle, the six-fingered cultivator hid within a towering tree, waiting for prey. But the moment the roar echoed, his face drained of color. It felt as though a force had invaded his soul, forcing him out of hiding. He looked into the distance, fear filling his eyes. This is the roar Shu Mu released during the Earth trial. Jian Kongli, moving through the forest, heard the roar. His body trembled. He immediately sat down to cultivate. Moments later, his eyes shone brightly. His face filled with excitement as he rushed toward the source of the sound. At that moment, every cultivator on the battlefield heard the terrifying roar. It was as if the heavens were collapsing. The sky changed color. Thunder gathered high above, converging in the distance. The earth shook as though doomsday had arrived. Outside the battlefield, within the Thunder Celestial Temple, the octagonal wooden piece suspended in the air began to tremble violently. Strands of thunder coursed through it. Lightning filled the sky, converging toward it as if in worship. Master Flamespark suddenly stood. His expression darkened. Both hands formed seals rapidly. Countless seals struck the wooden piece, gradually suppressing its trembling. Around him, the surrounding cultivators watched in silence. Each harbored their own thoughts. Back within the battlefield, after the roar faded, Wang Lin's ancient thunder dragon returned to his body. Endless lightning surrounded him. Within 500 kilometers, the world had become a domain of thunder. Crackling sounds echoed continuously. Towering trees collapsed, igniting into flames. Wang Lin stood amidst it all. Lightning filled his eyes. Thunder coiled around his body. In that moment, he seemed like the sovereign of all thunder. He raised his right hand. He pointed at the fleeing, big-headed boy whose mind was on the verge of collapse. Thunder, destroy. At the fall of his finger, a deafening roar erupted. All the surrounding thunder surged forward at once. From above, it would appear as if every strand of lightning in the region was converging toward a single point. That point was the big-headed boy. The thunder moved with unimaginable speed. In an instant, it closed in. Despair filled the boy's eyes. He felt as though he faced all the thunder beneath the heavens. Then, The thunder entered his body. A massive explosion echoed across the battlefield once more. Flames engulfed him. His body rose into the air and vanished completely. Not a single trace remained. All the cultivators upon the battlefield raised their heads, gazing at the thunder that slowly faded into nothingness. Fear filled their hearts like a creeping tide. That is the spell of that master demon. Terrifying. If you encounter him, you will die without a doubt. With my cultivation, I cannot stand against him. Such a spell is unheard of. It shakes the heavens. Xianxia stared blankly, his expression stiff. His fist tightened unconsciously. Only then did he realize his hand was trembling ever so slightly. Within the Thunder Celestial Temple on the square, the big-headed boy abruptly opened his eyes. A mouthful of blood burst from his lips. His aura weakened instantly. His face twisted in ferocity as he stood up, scanning his surroundings. Then terror surfaced in his eyes. "No." Master Flamespark's voice rang out sharply. "Sit." The boy's body trembled. His heart pounded violently. His thoughts were in chaos. Moments ago, he had intended to go all out and locate Wang Lin's true body to seek revenge. But now, as he looked around, he discovered something chilling. Only 108 people remained. 4 were missing. Could it be within that path to the heavens? 4 entered not as avatars, but with their true bodies. His scalp tingled. Cold sweat drenched his body. A wave of fear surged through him. He was secretly relieved he had not been among those 4. No wonder. I couldn't open my storage bag. Only treasures infused with Origin Soul can be used. He drew in a deep breath, yet the fear lingered, refusing to fade. On the battlefield, golden light flickered. A golden rune materialized, having absorbed the dissipating avatar of the big-headed boy. It now pulsed with intelligence. Wang Lin retrieved the celestial sealing stamp. His gaze fell upon the stunned Shen Gonghu. With a casual motion, he patted his storage bag, took out several pills, and handed them over. Find a hidden place. Focus on cultivation. Shen Gonghu accepted the pills. Just as he was about to swallow them, his eyes narrowed. His gaze lingered on Wang Lin's storage bag. After a moment of hesitation, he spoke. "My lord, you can open your bag." Wang Lin paused. His expression darkened. Countless thoughts surged through his mind. With his intelligence, a single sentence was enough. "You cannot open yours." His voice was low and cold. Shen Gonghu shook his head. His divine sense entered his storage bag. He slapped it, no response. Wang Lin fell silent. Then he turned and stepped into the air. Shen Gonghu remained where he stood, thoughts stirring within him. After a brief hesitation, he obeyed Wang Lin's words and sought a place to hide. Wang Lin moved through the battlefield, a faint sneer forming on his lips. What a slaughter battlefield! Truth hidden within falsehood, falsehood within truth. Master Flamespark's scheme runs deep. Admirable. Excluding the 108 outside, among the 112, 4 entered with their real bodies. The 2 I killed earlier had storage bags. That leaves 1 more. Besides me. I wonder who it is. As he advanced, his divine sense spread without restraint. Whenever he detected another cultivator, he moved without hesitation. Mercy did not exist here. This was a slaughter battlefield. Those who entered had already accepted death. Even if death here was not absolute, it was still death. Every cultivator Wang Lin encountered found escape nearly impossible. Yet before striking, he would first test. Could they open their storage bag? If not, then he would attack without hesitation. Elsewhere, the slaughter continued. Shu Ting unleashed black mist once more. It surged like a devouring tide, swallowing all in its path. In the end, many cultivators who had already secured a kill chose to end their own lives. Better that than letting their kill fall into another's hands. Time passed. Fewer and fewer remained. Wang Lin acted differently. If his opponent complied, he would not kill immediately. He would wait until they perished on their own, then seal their avatar. Shu Ting, however, was pure violence. Even those who sought suicide if they hesitated were devoured. Night fell upon the battlefield. Darkness descended. Only a handful remained. Wang Lin extended his divine sense and moved towards Xu Ting. Xu Ting must die. Especially now within Xu Ting existed a trace of source origin energy. Wang Lin had already sensed it. There was no possibility of letting him live. Xu Ting also spread his divine sense. He locked onto Wang Lin. Without hesitation, he stepped into the black mist and charged forward. In his region, all others had perished. Only he remained. Faster, faster. He became a streak of light. His killing intent surged, rising to monstrous heights. Xu Ting roared, his voice shaking the heavens. Wang Lin floated calmly in the air, eyes tranquil, watching Xu Ting approach. Behind Xu Ting, the black mist surged, condensing into a demonic shadow. It roared and lunged forward. I hope the last one who can open a storage bag is you. Killing intent flickered in Wang Lin's eyes. Xu Ting accelerated further. Sonic booms echoed through the sky. A heaven-shaking explosion erupted. The demonic shadow opened its maw, seeking to devour Wang Lin. The celestial ceiling stamp expanded to over 1,000 feet, hovering before Wang Lin. Golden runes surged outward, rumbling like thunder. The great battle began. Below, Donghua emerged from hiding, standing atop a tree. His gaze was fixed on the sky. Suddenly, a hand tapped his shoulder. He was startled. Instinctively, he leapt forward, preparing a spell. But then, a chuckle. No need to panic. Truth be told, when you suddenly moved earlier, you startled me as well. Donghua sat beside him with a mischievous smile. Looking up, he sighed. To witness such a battle beneath the night sky, truly one of life's greatest pleasures. He slapped his storage bag, took out a jug of wine, and drank deeply. Donghua glanced at the bag. Then he looked away, sitting on another tree nearby. Donghua gulped down another mouthful, his expression turning bitter. Ha! You noticed. I had no choice. My real body was dragged in here. Bad luck. Fortunately, I realized it early. Otherwise, if I had gone around killing recklessly and died, it would have been meaningless. So I hid, waited, only came out when it was safe. In the distance, the six-fingered cultivator sat silently atop a tree. His eyes were cold. The two strongest fight. That way, I have a chance. He licked his lips, sneering. Above, the clash intensified. Xu Ting's demonic shadow collided with the celestial ceiling stamp. The impact shook the entire battlefield. With a bang, Xu Ting was forced back dozens of feet. The shadow followed him. Wang Lin retreated 30 feet. His expression remained calm, yet killing intent surged within his eyes. Xu Ting formed a seal. Origin energy gathered within him. The black vortex between his brows spun rapidly. Snake Devour. The demonic shadow twisted, transforming instantly into a 1,000-foot serpent. It roared and lunged forward. Wang Lin had seen this before. He knew its power. He raised his right hand. Call the wind. Black wind surged forth, filling heaven and earth. Two black dragons formed, roaring fiercely as they charged the serpent. Cold air spread as they clashed, devouring one another. But Call the Wind was a celestial spell of the celestial emperor. The serpent devoured one dragon, then screamed in agony. Its body expanded uncontrollably before collapsing entirely. The devoured dragon reformed. Both dragons charged toward Xu Ting. Xu Ting formed another seal. Mountain Spirit. Black mist erupted, forming a vast, towering mountain. It blotted out the sky, replacing it entirely, then crashed down toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin remained calm, yet the killing intent in his eyes deepened. As the dragon surged, he placed his hand upon his forehead. He would no longer waste time. Third seal, open. His voice was calm, cold. The red line between his brows spread. A third eye opened. A blinding red light burst forth, spreading like a fan. 1/3 of his sealed power surged into it. The descending mountain was engulfed. It disintegrated layer by layer, reverting into black gas within half a breath. Xu Ting's face turned pale with terror. A crisis unlike any he had known descended upon him. He tried to retreat. Too late. The red light enveloped him. Wang Lin turned his gaze upon him. Shooting trembled. It felt as though countless thunderbolts exploded within his body. His heartbeat thundered louder than anything else. Thump, thump, thump. Faster, faster. His heart neared its limit. Blood, origin energy, everything surged wildly beyond control. The black mist between his brows struggled to escape. What? What spell is this? Sweat poured from him. His body was locked in place. Panic consumed him. The red light invaded. His body began to collapse. Skin, flesh, bones, all disintegrated. His origin soul regressed nascent soul, golden core. Then, the golden core exploded into spiritual energy. Even that energy collapsed. His very existence was erased. He screamed in despair. Even the trace of source origin energy within him was extracted, absorbed into the red light. Silence followed. The red light faded. Wang Lin's face turned pale with exhaustion. He sat upon a tree, quickly sealing the power within his brow. This scene stunned Nanggong Han. He spat out his wine fear, filling his eyes. I cannot defeat him. Shen Gonghu inhaled sharply. The image of that supreme figure within the Thunder Lake resurfaced in his mind. In the distance, the six-fingered cultivator trembled. Yet beneath the fear, madness flickered. He charged. He must be injured. This is my chance. If I kill the master demon, even in this illusion, I, Zhou Xingdao, will become famous across the all-heaven star system. Lightning fast, he closed in. Blue light shimmered upon his sixth finger. Too fast. In an instant, he reached Wang Lin. Shen Gonghu's expression changed. He tried to intervene. Too late. Nanggong Han stood stepping forward. At that very moment, Wang Lin opened his eyes. Cold, absolute. Scram. That single word became thunder. Endless thunder roared from the heavens, crashing down upon the six-fingered cultivator. His face turned pale. That word alone struck his mind like countless bolts of lightning. Wang Lin's terror was etched deep within him. Before even attacking, his will collapsed. Fear overtook him. He fled. Thunder pursued relentlessly. It gathered, converged, forming something akin to divine retribution. The sky trembled. The six-fingered cultivator was filled with terror as the thunder relentlessly pursued him. The rumbling echoed through the heavens as he retreated in haste. Yet at the very moment of his retreat, Wang Lin rose to his feet and stepped forward. The instant Wang Lin moved, thunder erupted, triggering two deafening explosions. The sound shook the air and struck the heart. In the blink of an eye, Wang Lin had already closed the distance, appearing before the six-fingered cultivator. Two fingers of his hand came together, forming a sword seal, and he pointed ahead. From all directions, bolts of thunder suddenly converged toward the six-fingered cultivator. As the thunder descended, the man's face turned deathly pale. He attempted to resist, but Wang Lin's fingers absorbed all the incoming thunder. What followed was a single bolt, ancient in aura, as though drawn from primordial times, bursting forth. It shattered every defense, pierced through all spells, and directly entered the six-fingered cultivator's body. The raging thunder tore through his flesh. His origin soul collapsed under the violent force. A miserable cry escaped his lips as his origin energy scattered. In the next instant, his entire body disintegrated. A golden rune flickered. One of the runes merged with the cultivator's soul, becoming vibrant and filled with spirit before returning to the celestial sealing stamp. All of this occurred in but a moment. The six-fingered cultivator had been slain almost at the same instant he attempted his sneak attack. Wang Lin's face was slightly pale. The third eye between his brows slowly closed, and the red line faded away. He turned his gaze, landing upon Nanggong Han, who stood 100 feet away. You wish to fight me as well? Nanggong Han's expression grew serious as he carefully examined Wang Lin. After a moment, he laughed softly and shook his head. I am no match for you. I only came to assist you in dealing with the one who tried to ambush you. Wang Lin withdrew his gaze and sat down, entering cultivation. At that moment, clouds gathered across the sky. A five-colored radiance descended from above, splitting into three streams. One fell upon Wang Lin, another upon Nangong Han, and the last upon Shengong Hu. Shengong Hu's body trembled before vanishing entirely. Only Wang Lin and Nangong Han remained seized by the five-colored light and dragged upward into the sky. This time Wang Lin did not lose consciousness. He saw a crack tear open in the heavens and was pulled into it. His vision blurred. When clarity returned, he found himself once more upon the square surrounded by cultivators. His body flickered as he descended to the ground. Nangong Han landed almost simultaneously beside him. All 108 cultivators had awakened. Xu Ting's expression was extremely gloomy. He stared silently at Wang Lin. The six-fingered cultivator, now restored, also fixed Wang Lin with a venomous gaze. Master Flamespark stood with a faint smile. Rising slowly, he spoke in a calm but resounding voice. "My Thunder Celestial Temple bestows 108 celestials." As his words fell, his right hand reached into the void. A celestial melody suddenly echoed the song of the Thunder Celestial realm. The melody was ethereal and beautiful, like the voice of the heavens themselves. Clouds gathered in great numbers. Celestial spiritual energy thickened in the air, transforming the surroundings into something akin to the true celestial realm. Cranes flew overhead, their cries clear and uplifting. From afar, with the Thunder Celestial Temple at its center, the entire scene appeared indistinguishable from the celestial realm. All surrounding cultivators stood up alongside their clan ancestors. Their expressions were solemn and respectful, forming a vast, dense crowd. Even the old monsters seated upon prayer mats rose, their faces grave. The messengers of the Thunder Celestial Temple stood in formation, equally reverent. At this moment, this scene was not confined to a single place. Through a special method, the Thunder Celestial Temple transmitted this spectacle across the entire All-Heaven star system. Each cultivation family on every cultivation planet possessed a sound transmission stone gifted by the temple. These stones did not merely transmit sound, they displayed images as well. Though given freely, they served both for celestial bestowment ceremonies and for mobilization in the war against the Alliance star system. Now nearly all cultivators witnessed the celestial bestowment through these stones. At the center of the All-Heaven star system, the Thunder Celestial Temple radiated authority. Around it, in the four great domains, killing intent began to gather. To the east, cultivators assembled over 10,000 strong. They wore varied attire, clearly from different families. Yet now they stood unified, gazing forward in silence. Before them stood a man clad in crimson armor. His white hair flowed behind him. His face was expressionless as he held a sound transmission stone watching the ceremony. The south mirrored this scene. 10,000 cultivators sat in the void, led by an old man, all staring toward the stars. The west and north were no different. All were watching. Within the Thunder Celestial Temple, a crane descended carrying a yellow scroll in its beak. It circled Master Flamespark before releasing the scroll, which he caught with ease. With a flick of his hand, the scroll unfurled. It radiated dense, celestial spiritual energy. It was clearly a celestial treasure. "There are 110 remaining Master Flamespark," said calmly. "Originally, 2 of you would have been eliminated. However, after enduring the trials, the heavens grant you all a chance. The strongest 2 shall become the Thunder Celestial and Vice Thunder Celestial. The remaining 108 shall be divided into 36 Heaven Celestials and 72 Earth Celestials." He paused, his gaze sweeping across the crowd. Shuma stepped forward. Wang Lin's eyes narrowed. He rose into the air and clasped his hands. Present. Master Flamespark's expression turned solemn. "You ranked first in the human earth and heaven trials. You walked a single line to heaven. Shumu, I bestow upon you the title of Thunder Celestial. You shall command 3,000 cultivators as the vanguard in the assault against the Alliance star system." As he spoke, his hand reached into the void, summoning a golden celestial brush. With deliberate strokes, he wrote upon the scroll, "Authentic Thunder Celestial Shumu." The moment the final stroke was completed, golden light surged. A roar erupted from within the scroll. The words flew out, merging into the form of a thunder tiger. The tiger stood 100 feet tall. It roared and charged toward Wang Lin. Upon reaching 10 feet before him, it shrank, condensing into a small flag, no larger than 3 inches. The tiger's image flickered upon it. I grant you the celestial treasure, the Heaven Tiger flag. With this you may command 3,000 cultivators of the all-heaven star system and establish your own force. Wang Lin accepted the flag. He took a deep breath and clasped his hands once more. Order received. At that moment his figure was seen clearly across the entire all-heaven star system. An uproar erupted. He is Shumu, Master Demon Shumu, the Thunder Celestial. He surpassed the 108 Celestials. His cultivation must be unfathomable. On planet Ran Yun, a beautiful woman glanced at the projection in the sky. At first, indifferent, she turned away, then suddenly froze. Her eyes locked onto Wang Lin. A strange familiarity stirred within her. It was as though she had seen him before. Across the planet, countless cultivators stared upward, their hearts shaken beyond calm. On planet Qingling, elders exclaimed in unison, "Ancestor!" Atop Heng Yun Peak, Xi Qing awakened from his trance, his eyes filled with excitement. "Master!" On a distant cultivation planet, Yaobing Yun sat upon a towering iceberg. She lifted her gaze to the sky, her expression complex. "I never expected. He would become the Thunder Celestial." In the northern domain, upon a decaying planet filled with foul stench, Greed stood within a valley. He looked upward, a cruel light in his eyes. He has reached such prestige. At this moment, all who knew Wang Lin gazed toward the heavens in shock. Back at the Thunder Celestial Temple, Master Flamespark called out. Xu Ting stepped forward. Xu Ting took a deep breath and stepped ahead, bowing respectfully. "I bestow upon you the title of Vice Thunder Celestial. You shall command 2,000 cultivators as the second vanguard." Though unwilling, Xu Ting suppressed his emotions. Order received. One by one, names were called. All 108 celestial titles were bestowed. Each cultivator received a flag. Each became a celestial. At last, Master Flamespark declared, "Thunder Celestial Vice, Thunder Celestial 36. Heaven Celestials and 72 Earth Celestials enter the celestial pool." With a wave of his sleeve, the scroll vanished. The clouds churned, condensing into a descending pool. Within it flowed blue water, emanating an aura that shook the soul. "Enter the celestial pool. Let your domains dissolve. Form your celestial origin and become true celestials." His voice echoed between heaven and earth. Celestials did not cultivate domains. True celestials were devoid of sentiment. Wang Lin understood this clearly. From the center of the celestial pool, ripples spread outward. Celestial spiritual energy began to diffuse into the surroundings. The cultivators nearby fell into silence, each weighing the gains and losses in their hearts. To enter or not to enter this choice became exceedingly difficult. Master Flamespark did not urge them. He merely stood there calm and composed, watching the juniors before him. Not only him, all observers in the surroundings, along with the messengers from the Thunder Celestial Temple, were watching closely. Across the entire all-heaven star system, countless cultivators fixed their gaze upon this moment. It was as though the whole star system had fallen into silence. No one spoke. This was not a choice that could be judged as right or wrong. No one could give a definitive answer. There were simply two different paths. One was the path of the Celestials. The other was the path of cultivators. Until the very end, no one could say which was stronger. In ancient times, cultivators sought immortality. For them, entering the celestial pool was a supreme honor. Their origin energy would transform into celestial origin. This was the ultimate goal pursued by cultivators of that era. Without domains, there was nothing to comprehend. Advancement relied solely on heavenly treasures, celestial cultivation methods, and celestial pills. But after the collapse of the celestial realm, everything changed. Cultivators no longer sought to become celestials. The celestial realm was gone. Instead, they pursued the Tao, because only through cultivating the Tao could one attain enlightenment. And the essence of the Tao was comprehension. To comprehend the heavens, either to follow them or to defy them. Without comprehension, progress became exceedingly difficult. Now before Wang Lin and the others, these two paths lay open once more. One ancient, one current. Qing Shui looked at Wang Lin with a calm expression. In his heart, he hoped Wang Lin would step into the celestial pool, abandon the Tao, and become a true celestial. Only then could Wang Lin truly inherit his master Bai Fan's legacy. Xu Ting remained silent for a moment, then turned his gaze toward Wang Lin. His teeth clenched. Without hesitation, he stepped toward the celestial pool. He had always been arrogant. Among his peers, no one had ever been worthy of his regard. Since leaving planet Donglin, he had never encountered defeat. Yet everything changed after meeting Wang Lin. During the celestial competition, he was defeated time and again. In the one line to heaven, he had even been killed. He could not accept it. There was a trace of admiration in his heart toward Wang Lin, but it was insignificant compared to his unwillingness. If things continued like this, he knew he would never surpass Wang Lin. He needed another path, a transformation. Thus he abandoned his domain without hesitation and chose the path of the celestial. The moment Xu Ting entered the pool, unbearable pain erupted through his body. The water seemed to boil as it burrowed into his flesh. Sweat poured down his forehead. The agony was so intense, it nearly caused him to lose consciousness. It felt as if countless blades were carving into his body. The domain he had cultivated for thousands of years was being forcibly stripped away. At the same time, vast amounts of celestial spiritual energy surged into him, merging with his origin energy. A completely new force began to take shape within him. 7 minutes later, Xu Ting let out a roar. His hair moved without wind. Popping sounds echoed from his body. A powerful celestial aura burst forth. His strength had advanced by an entire level. Lightning flickered within his eyes. A sense of absolute comfort filled his being. He raised his fist, feeling as though he held the power of heaven and earth itself. The celestial spells he had learned flashed through his mind. He felt that he could cast them at will with perfect mastery. Xu Mu, one day we will fight again. Xu Ting stepped out of the pool. His gaze lingered briefly on Wang Lin before he turned away. His transformation shattered the hesitation of the others. One by one, cultivators stepped into the pool. Agonized screams echoed. Then their cultivation surged explosively. Dense, celestial spiritual energy radiated from their bodies as they emerged. Each person who walked out wore an expression of joy. The overwhelming power, the absolute control over celestial spells, none of them felt regret. Wang Lin stood still, quietly observing the pool. His thoughts were complicated. He had glimpsed the third step. He had seen Celestial Emperor Bai Fan in madness, pointing toward the heavens. Too many mysteries remained. The path of the Celestial was not simple. He could not say whether it was right or wrong, but he was unwilling to choose it. More importantly, when the Celestial Pool appeared, none of the ancient old monsters had even spared it a glance. That alone solidified his decision. Among the Thunder Celestial, Vice Thunder Celestial, and the 36 Heaven Celestials, 17 chose to enter the pool, including Wang Lin, Nangong Han, Shengong, Hujan, Kongli, and over a dozen others. None of them stepped forward. This is your own choice. Do not regret it in the future. Master Flamespark's gaze swept across them. He raised his right hand and pointed forward. A thunderous rumble echoed. The celestial pool rose into the sky and vanished. Summon the celestial bestowment stone. His voice carried deep reverence. The clouds churned violently. They transformed into dragons of mist circling the heavens. An overwhelming pressure descended. Across the all-heaven star system, countless cultivators watched in silence. Moments later, a cloud dragon descended and spat out a stone. The stone was only 5 feet long, yet when it landed, the entire Thunder Celestial Temple trembled. Boundless celestial spiritual energy surged outward like a storm. Thunder Celestial Vice, Thunder Celestial, and the 36 Heaven Celestials. You may carve your names upon this stone. Xu Ting's eyes gleamed. He stepped forward and arrived before the stone. The moment he looked at it, his heart shook. Countless names were already engraved upon it. Each name emitted a powerful aura. Many belonged to legendary figures of the all-heaven star system. His desire intensified. He raised his right hand, found an empty space, and began to carve. A green light flashed. A powerful force surged from the stone, forcing him backward. Shu Ting sneered. Celestial origin energy surged within him. Black mist gathered between his brows, flowed into his finger, and he pressed down again. With force, with determination. He barely managed to engrave his name. The moment he finished, his body trembled as if it might collapse. He staggered backward, his face pale. Wang Lin watched silently. He saw clearly the reason for Shu Ting's exhaustion was that a portion of his origin soul had been split away and absorbed by the stone. His vigilance deepened. Master Flamespark nodded slightly. Anyone capable of engraving their name possessed extraordinary cultivation. He was satisfied with Shu Ting. In the coming war against the Alliance star system, this man would shine. After Shu Ting, the 36 Heaven Celestials stepped forward one by one. But aside from Nangong Han, the six-fingered cultivator, and the big-headed youth, none succeeded. At last it was Wang Lin's turn. His expression was calm as he approached the stone. He studied the names upon it and fell into thought. Wang Lin was cautious by nature. There were many reasons he had rejected the celestial pool. Now this stone deepened his hesitation. His silence drew countless gazes. During the celestial title competition, he had already stood out. His refusal to enter the pool had sparked widespread discussion. Now, as he hesitated before the stone, speculation grew even stronger. Not just here. Across the entire all-heaven star system, all who saw this moment held their breath. Would Shumu give up? If not, could he succeed? Almost none knew the true origin of the celestial bestowment stone. As Wang Lin pondered, a sharp light flashed in his eyes. He raised his right hand. His index finger pressed down. A powerful force erupted from the stone, repelling him. He frowned slightly. Origin energy surged through his body. He pressed down again. This time the resistance was even stronger. But his origin energy flooded into his finger, resisting the force. The more he moved, the greater the resistance became. Cracking sounds echoed as if the stone itself might shatter. Blinding light burst forth. At last, Wang Lin completed the final stroke. At that instant, he felt a portion of his origin soul split away, flowing toward his finger. Just as it was about to merge with the stone, Wang Lin suddenly raised his head. Borrowing the rebound force, he stepped back. The process was halted. Master Flamespark's eyes narrowed slightly. He looked at Wang Lin with a trace of meaning. He had clearly seen it. Wang Lin's origin soul had not fused, and the name engraved upon the stone was neither Wang Lin nor Shu Mu. It was Master Demon. This Shu Mu truly lives up to being from the Alliance star system. Not greedy, always cautious. Master Flamespark withdrew his gaze. Now the final reward. Thunder Celestial Vice, Thunder Celestial, and the 36 Heaven Celestials. You may each make one request. The Thunder Celestial Temple, the Xiang family, and the Gongsun family will do everything within our power to fulfill it. But if anyone deliberately makes an unreasonable demand, their reward will be revoked. Wang Lin's heart trembled violently. He took a deep breath, forcibly calming the storm within. His eyes shone with unprecedented intensity. This was the true reason he had come. One